Like many Sicilians in Brooklyn, I grew up in a big family. Our traditions, our music, our celebrations were paramount, with food at the core. Every family has that one dish. No matter where I went, the lingering aroma of Grandma's specialties would always be in the air. This love of food led me on a path to become a chef working in the 3-star Michelin restaurants around the world. As I began to raise my own family, I revisited those time-tested recipes from the matriarchs in my life that have always remained so cherished. So today I set out to ensure that these traditions of the world are not forgotten, that the simple pleasures of breaking bread and enjoying meaningful conversation around the table are carried on. To meet the grandmas of the world, discover their recipes and techniques that only they know to make that one special dish, so essential to all the nuances of their family life, and all of the other surprises that I may encounter along the way. So join me and my producer Anya as I run, ride, and swim my way around the globe in the pursuit of the secret ingredients. Mamma mia, I'm here in the land of amazing culture, great wines, beautiful beaches, incredible food, and by the way, my Sicilian ancestry.
My dear cousin, dearest cousin.
Benvenuti a Bella Italia. I'm here to explore the amazing people and their legendary dishes that are unique to the regions of Italy. Along the way, I hope to come across many other specialties and traditions that make this country what it is today. It's a rainy day outside. Down in the basement to get the fire, and now we're going to grill some ribs to go with the risotto. Today I'm cooking with Nonna Rita and the rest of my family in Umbria. Chi hai fatto questo caminetto?
My father.
Yeah, so your father made tutto.
Tutto.
Her father put this all together and built everything in here.
Yeah.
This is how you make toast, bruschetta. While I was cooking, my cousin Lucas stopped by. He's a famous painter in town. As we finish off the ribs, we go upstairs to help my cousin Luana in the main kitchen. Okay, we're gonna cook.
Okay,
Let's go.
we cook. No cry. No woman, no cry. With onion. No woman, no cry.
We start preparing the vegetables and cheese for the risotto, a very traditional creamy rice dish that can take many different forms. But for today, we are making the saffron risotto topped with burrata mozzarella cheese. And a little new tradition with this German machine called a bimby that mixes, chops, and cooks the dish for you. Some wonders never cease. As the bimby is doing its thing, we prepare an asparagus frittata.
Voilà, les jeux sont faits. Hey.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome. That's a real local specialty. Biscotti di Sagrantino, a baked dough infused with black grape wine. Well, apparently I made this one too small.
A big hole. Big, like this.
So I tried again. Okay, look at that one.
Oh, perfect.
That's a good
you
one,
are
see?
a good student.
Good thing I got it right the second time. And now for the final touches of the meal. Topping of the bruschetta, setting the table and putting the burrata on the risotto. Time for a real Umbrian mangiare. What a wonderful way to kick off my time in Italy with my family that I haven't seen in 30 years, and meeting the new family members as well, all while enjoying such delicious foods and wines. What a treat. Luana and Sergio were eager to show me their favorite local gems of Umbria, Spello and Scagino. Both ancient cities with so much character and history. We meandered through the narrow, flower-lined cobblestone streets, admiring the peaceful ambiance of these towns that time has forgotten. We worked up a good appetite exploring, so we stopped at a hole-in-the-wall restaurant that's famous for its renowned local cuisine and a particularly unusual name. This is the restaurant for kissing women, La Boccia Femmina. Instantly, I'm taken by the eclectic decor and amazing smells, and really blown away by the antique wine production system running through the restaurant. Oh look, this is where the women used to stomp the grapes. The wine goes through the floor into this barrel. No wonder this wine is some of the best I've had in Italy.
Salute. Good health for you.
Speaking of culo mosso, it's the process of making strangozzi pasta in which a woman's butt shakes when they roll the dough. And since we are in the heart of truffle country, this strangozzi is lavish in truffles. And we also had a few other tasty bites. After a little espresso, we strolled back into the streets and we reminisced on our times together, both old and new, before I set sail for the coast. And now on to the Cinque Terre, the coastal treasure of northern Italy in the region of Liguria. Abundant with pasteled shoreline towns, I boat hopped from one to the next, partaking in the provincial fare. We toured the towns and their exquisite products with the help and recommendations from my friend Amelia, a longtime Ligurian, to seek out the best specialties of the region. Time for lunch, Amelia took us to her friend's restaurant, her personal favorite.
The owner is the cook, so you know you're gonna eat good.
Yes, and he knows my friend here.
Yeah. It's right here in this little... In Cinque Terre we mainly have a white wine and are 3 grapes, Bosco, Alvarola and Vermentino. And here these 3 grapes mixed together and it's called simply Cinque Terre. Our typical dishes today, the anchovies, pesto and the walnut sauce and fish at the Monterossina style.
As we enjoyed our lunch, Amelia told us a little more about our upcoming grandma and her famous recipe.
Ines is the name, yes, Ines. She has that recipe from the beginning of 1900 that she's sharing with relatives. So according to some people, those are the best mussels in the whole area.
We can't wait to meet Grandma. We're gonna have fun with Grandma. But first, a little gelato to sweeten up our day. Yeah, fig and ricotta gelato, really good. That's the hazelnut and lemon gelato. A quick train ride drops us off at Grandma's house in the small port town of La Grazie.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Giorno.
We followed Nonna Inez and her sister to the market to pick out the ingredients for today's meal and chatted with her friends around the neighborhood.
Andiamo. Ciao. Arrivederci.
And back up the hill to cook. Inside Grandma's home, I see the history of maritime traditions that prevail in the area. It's obviously the perfect place to make this seafood meal. On that note, I think we put the apron on. I'm too fat to reach around. Look at that beautiful, beautiful apron they get for me, huh? So, who taught how to make this dish? Is this...
La mamma. She teach everything, not only how to cook the dish of today.
1905.
1905. Well, they've been making this dish a long time. It's a dish from this area. It's very typical, the mussels. And they say muscola ripieni. So now let's go ahead and make some food with the grandmas. Imagine doing the 15 kilos of this that they do for their family. That's a lot of hard work that grandmas do.
They do it mainly in summer, let's say only in summertime, 3 times per summer maximum, because it's a very big job to do.
But even 3 times is a lot of times.
Yeah.
So you know the grandmas here are in very good shape because from doing this kind of work and then climbing the stairs every day, everybody's very strong.
One grandma here, una nonna per favore. You have to assist.
This is the grandma trick. You start by cutting from the narrow end of the mussel and gently cut down and around the shell until you can pop it open. Nonna helps to cut out what's called the beard so that the mussel wraps around the stuffing we're going to prepare, all while staying intact within the shell. Party's really getting started now that the whole family's shown up. As David was preparing some appetizers, I had to correct him on his pronunciation of some New York slang that he said to his nonna. In Italian you say, "Don't break my balls." Okay, enough of this joviality. Let's make the stuffing. So we have olive oil and salt.
Hot pepper.
Aglio e prezzemolo.
Yeah, so that's garlic and basil and parsley. So this is chopped mussels, mortadella meat with some parmigiana, some eggs, and fresh thyme. Now that the stuffing is ready, let's fill the mussels. It's satisfying to cook alongside the nonnas, to use our hands and be in touch with the feel and consistencies of the dish. To hand make each mussel imbues the dish with that certain special aura of Grandma's magic touch. You see how Grandma created almost the perfect amount of stuffing for the amount of mussels. There's nothing left.
What is
What's
the little left?
It goes into the sauce. Time to add in a little tomato puree.
Vino.
Okay, vino rosso, vino bianco. See, what a beautiful sauce from the sea with the mussels and the mortadella and the fresh thyme and white wine and garlic. Lay them around. Spread them evenly around the pan so they all get into the sauce.
Mai girare mai far così.
Never stir with a spoon.
Mai così, sempre
no
così,
spoon.
sempre così.
Only moving the pan.
Just move it around so they
No,
sink
non
under the
girare,
sauce.
Almeno
Just a
fai
little
anche
bit.
ginnastica. Come fate ginnastica?
That's right. In true grandma fashion, they kick us out of the house at this point so they can take care of the rest of the things their own way. So us youngsters go out for a quick drink. As we chat, I learn some unique traits about the area.
say most of the people here were fishermen before, but also in the past, the legends say that some pirates were living also here, and they had also a big festival about pirates. Everybody must dress like pirates and drink.
June?
And no, they cut it because they say it is too dangerous. Because people really acting like pirates. They drank, there was a kind of fight, everything for playing, but then people start to get
A little serious.
Yeah,
huh?
so they say, okay, better stop this before someone gets really, really injured.
Then we hit the waterfront to speak with some local fishermen. They told me about the plights of pollution and overfishing that they're experiencing, driving them to curb their business towards tourist fishing, an epidemic appearing all over the world. But like a true Italian, their life goes on.
Easy an example.
Okay, back to Grandma's house for lunchtime. Now we're going into Grandma's house and we're gonna go eat some mussels. Hello! Oh, it smells so good in here. Everything's in place, the food is ready, the table is set, the family's all here. Let's eat. Thank you for inviting us to your home and teaching me how to make this special recipe and being with your family. Grazie molto, buon appetito. We started with some appetizers the nonnas had prepared in our absence, such as bacala, a dried salted cod. But everyone was awaiting the main attraction.
Thank you.
And lo and behold, the mussel has perfectly encased the stuffing, combining the fresh taste of the shellfish with the savory mortadella and aromatic herbs. The flavors come together. It's so good.
Of course, you gotta have bread for this sauce.
Scarpetta.
What a perfect opportunity for the Italian tradition of dipping bread in the leftover sauce of a meal. And this rich sauce is a good one. And to finish off the delicious meal, we had some coffee and cake for the road. What a great family. A true privilege to cook and dine in Ligurian delight. Time to head south, to track down more of my Italian heritage, to a land that has escaped me all these years. I've been told it's a world all its own, a confluence of multiple cultures, the land of my ancestors, Sicily. So let's go see what kind of characters we can see out here while we're strolling the streets. Right off the boat, I delve into the excitement of Palermo, walking along one of many passeggiatas on the main thoroughfare. This is a part of daily life in many cities and towns throughout Europe, to promenade the main street, greeting neighbors, and enjoying local shops. What a wonderful way to engage with your community. We moved over to the famous Vucceria market, too late for some produce, but just in time for the evening street party. I met some nice friends, had some good drinks, all while listening to great street music. But I need to escape the city for a place that's dear to my heart. First stop is the town of my grandparents, Castelbuono, home to the famous Fiasconaro pastry shop, and probably the only place I've ever seen with a donkey recycling system. We met with the mayor who spoke about his town and its philosophies. He went on to say how Castelbuono is the cultural hub of Sicily, boasting a robust flair for the arts, music, and culinary traditions. The people of this town take great pride in the accomplishments of their community, such as my friends Tony and Dario at their restaurant Kilometro Zero, where we are going for a special night of dining. Cheers, salute.
Salute.
And so, the extravaganza begins. You're tasting the olive oil from the region, and the flavor is like tasting flowers.
Me, 20 years in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Chef, black pork,
Look at that.
and nero d'avola.
Similar to that of Spain, this black pig is raised in the Avola region of southeastern Sicily.
Pecorino and opla.
Our next course consisted of caramelized ricotta and local Luganaga sausage. I met with our chef Giuseppe Catanzaro, as well as some new friends, and even a local nonna who agreed to show us her special recipe, but only after a quality night of merriment. And just when I thought the meal was done, we moved inside and it all started up again. During the course of the dinner, each of my new friends insisted I visit them in the different areas of the island to ensure that I experience Sicily like a true Sicilian. Doesn't get better than this.
Yeah.
Doesn't get better than this. The next day, we met with Nonna to cook her special vegan recipe before heading out to see the rest of Sicily. These are for you.
Oh, grazie.
Today we're making Nonna's vegan fava bean fettuccine. Baba. I love fava beans.
Finocchietto selvatico.
Ah, Finocchio. Adding in some fennel and garlic.
Possiamo mettere l'acqua.
Just starting to heat that up.
Già bello.
We let it boil down to a paste.
Biologici al 100.
Adding a little bit of olive oil now.
E buon appetito.
Grandma had to take off to cook for her husband, so our chef finished off our dish with some fettuccine. Very good. With the olive oil, everything's clean, fresh, very simple dish to make. Just very nice flavors. Thank you very much. I let Chef Giuseppe get back to work, and I stopped into the local pizzeria to try some of its famous varieties. Normally I don't go out for pizza, but I had to give it a try before I left Sicily. And this was a good one. With that, I hit the road. Next stop, Noto. It is here that one of my new friends, Johnny LaGrua, organizes one of the most famous festivals in Sicily, the Infiorata. And this year's theme is China in Bloom. For 2.5 days, Via Nicolacci, one of Noto's many delightful streets, is taken over by a dazzling carpet of mosaic imagery created solely out of flower petals, prepared by locals based on artist renderings. After the festivities, the children of the city are let loose to destroy the artworks in a symbolic display of renewal. The Infiorata flower traditions, as we know it today, dates back to the 17th century. It seems that the first flower carpets were made in 1625 during the Renaissance in the Vatican Basilica by Benedetto Dre, head florist at the Vatican, and his son, for the feast of St. Peter and Paul, the patron saints of Rome. The Renaissance influence is apparent in the annual traditions and costumes specific to the era. And given this year's theme, many of the performances were dedicated to Chinese culture. I'm here with my friend Cesar Lima at the beautiful restaurant Masseria d'Agnello in the hillsides of Sicily. This is an agriturismo, all organic products. It's going to be an amazing time. Prego. Grazie. I'm Sicilian from New York,
Oh, lovely.
and this is my
Fascinating.
first time in Sicily.
Oh, is it? Oh, wonderful. There's so many things to do in Sicily. It's an excuse to come back.
Well, I will definitely come back. And once again, one course after another, we were served beautiful organic dishes straight from the residence and wonderful wines to match. We were so fortunate to enjoy this hidden jewel in the hillsides of southern Sicily. After many delicious dishes, we end the evening with the chef's special roulade of veal over a bed of vegetables. And boy, was it delicious. So much so that we had to thank the chef personally. Thank you, chef, for a wonderful dinner. After an amazing evening, I went on to discover the nearby ancient city of Agrigento. Known for its Valley of the Temples, this Byzantine city is situated along the southern Sicilian coast. Later that evening, I met up with Joe Castellano for a nice dinner with his family at an incredible restaurant, Il Corretto in Aragona. We had many great courses, including one of the best tripes I've had in Sicily, and the best steak I've ever tasted in Europe. I thanked Chef Andrea Michelli for an amazing meal. It's no surprise that Joe and his family have natural rhythm. Joe's a famous band leader, world-renowned, from Sicily.
Blues and wine.
The next night, Joe took me out with his men's group to a great local restaurant, Il Cacciatore, run by the Alessi sisters that cook in their fireplace. Each course had a special tinge of fire-smoked goodness. It was a lovely night of multiple dishes and great conversation of politics and soccer. We even got a nice picture with the sisters and finished the meal with a little dessert. Speaking of desserts, we closed our time in Sicily chatting with Vince, a Sicilian pastry expert who happens to have lived in my old Jersey neighborhood. You guys over here. Patterson, New Jersey Fire Department. We're here with my friends from Sferuzza, and we're gonna go inside and we're gonna see how cannolis are made the real way.
Also Casadina.
Casadina, oh, okay.
Okay.
So let's go. We're gonna go into the kitchen. Let's go.
This is a very antique recipe. This is called pasta cannoli to make cannoli shells.
Okay.
This is like one of our tricks. We slice it out like this.
Okay.
Get a nice slice out of it. Okay. You can just smell like the cannoli. The cinnamon and the vanilla and a little bit of salt and mostly like the coffee. And the vinegar comes out really strongly.
Those are the secret ingredients.
And, this gives it like this friabilità, with nice and crunchy, because the cannoli is one of those kind of things that you must fill it and eat it. You can't make it a day before. This is like one of Sicily's, let's say, this is the queen of pastry.
We moved on to the dough roller, one of my favorite machines.
Like if you don't do this, you're not gonna have like the typical bubbly, you know? Here we go. One more.
The folds are very similar to the techniques of making puff pastry.
This is the 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is the last one. Okay, that's about it. I gave it one more shot here. I wanted to stick it to the table, right? One more thing you gotta do is do this trick. This is our shaper. It's handmade. We make everything ourselves here. You have to invent yourself, you know? This way, and you're going to just take off the excess pastry here.
Ah, these are the real tricks of the trade. My friend Vince lines up the dough like a deck of cards, creating an efficient method to finish with the egg yolk in order to bind and form the cannoli shell. And once they are all made, they are ready for the deep fryer. As they fry, Vince shows us how to make casadina.
This is born in Sicily, on the eastern side, on Catania side, with the Arabs bought it from their land. Then what we did in Sicily, we had a lot of pistachio growing in the area, and we added some pistachio. That's why it's green. So it's like a mix. Everything we have here is also comes from other countries, and we put some on our own stuff. We have the honey from Castelbuono, the ricotta comes from Castelbuono. We make our own shell. Everything here is from here, you know?
So let's go ahead and I gotta get the cherry on there. Pistachio, taste the almond, sweet. It's almost like a marzipan.
Yeah. Okay, in the meantime, our cannoli should be already done.
Let's pull those out and see what they look like. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect color. Look at the bubbles. Beautiful bubble. You can tell nice and brown and crunchy. Ah.
This is very strong kind of ricotta cheese that comes from the sheep. You can tell the difference from the other kind of ricotta cheese because the one that comes from the sheep is very white, the color, just from the color. And the flavor is very strong. It's sweet, not too sweet though. The whole world wants this ricotta. Anywhere you want, everybody wants cassata from all over the world. This is what the ricotta cheese comes from this area is probably the best you can ever have. Because the sheep here have this kind of herbs they eat in the mountains called the basilisco. That gives it a unique flavor to this ricotta, basilisco. What we do now is we love to put the orange. We make our own orange too.
Oh yeah.
These orange come from Castelbuono, biological.
Orange is right off the tree in Castelbuono. Pistachio.
That's about very simple. Here we go.
Okay.
Here you go.
Salute.
Salute.
Oh my God. I mean, that is the best cannoli I've ever had in my life. It's like my childhood. Perfect crunch, flavor of the shell, you taste the cinnamon, coffee, and you get two different flavors. You get the nice orange from the trees, and then the local pistachio nut on the other side.
Yeah, what happens is that everybody wants to do this, but it's hard to do. You need a lot of passion to make it. I have two sons who do the same job, and they love doing this job because ever since they were young, they were coming here, they wanted to play with some dough and play with this green stuff. And now I'm a grandfather, and my grandson doing the same thing.
The kings of cannolis. Well, thank you again for teaching me these things.
It's giving me the privilege to have you here.
Yeah. Let's go have a coffee. As I sip my final espresso in Italy, I can't help but contemplate my time here. From From north to south, family and friends, and amazing encounters, it was a time of reflection of my past and a reaffirmation of the values I hold dear. To live each day of my life with love and passion above all else. Italians put life and relationships first, sometimes resulting in chaos, but it's a place to chill and enjoy all the things that Italy and Sicily have to offer. The people are warm, open, and friendly. The food is simply prepared with the best products from this fertile land, and its sights are unmatched. My long-awaited time here in the land of my heritage was not to disappoint.